The community has spoken and you know who's coming next. The guy with no balls. Quite literally. Now let's see how well I can cook. So to start things off, I'll be making the fancy transformation stuff he has. Mainly the hair. And man, I went into this without a plan on how I'm going to execute it. But anyway, I tried messing around with particle emitters. I honestly don't know what I was doing in this clip, but alright. I ripped off some effects from the other skills and damn, chat, I think I might be the worst barber in the world. I tried fixing it by adding a mesh, but it didn't really do much either. After putting it together, I finished the hair transformation part, though it looks really goofy on my character. Now that the transformation is functioning, I'll add more details and effects just to make it more flashy. Now you're probably wondering, but Jared, where's the mask? You can't possibly make one, you don't even have Blender, and you're too broke to commission for one. Well, nah, I'd union. Instead of an actual mesh, I just stick parts together because that's all the budget I have. And now, Okarun got a severe overbite. This is so scuffed. I also added some extra effects that I grabbed from the toolbox. And for even more flashiness, I got together some transformation VFX. Now after all that, it still looks utter garbage. And so I went on with the animations. Starting with the idle animation, which is just you slouching over, since this transformation gives you scoliosis or something. Because what is that posture? Also, I posted a sneak peek and this comment pretty much killed me. For the next animation, I'll be making the run effects, which I stated in my previous video that I suck at it, but I'll go give it a try. It ended up being really goofy, but that's the best I could do, really. Now for the current result, it looks like this. That honestly looks pretty mid, but at least it's not total garbage. Though for some reason the idle animation does not want to loop properly. It cancels out after just playing once, so I'll just go cry in the corner. I also decided to further improve the running animation because just looking at it, it triggers me. So anyway, here's the transformation. Let's now move on to the first skill. Now the first skill is just a simple amp. It basically just increases your speed in exchange for half of your health. The effects are just the same reused ones from earlier, so it's not so big of a skill. Here's what it looks like in game, and it takes half of your current health, so you can use it multiple times and go faster each time. Although I'll be adding a limiter, which you can't use this move anymore if your health is below 50. By the way, the max HP in the game is currently 500. So you can use this skill 4 times consecutively, which is a bit too OP, so instead I changed the limiter to 150. Now I kinda wanted to see what this looks like with a different headpiece, so... Oh wait, wrong head. Okay, that looks kinda cool I guess. Chat, I ain't gonna lie. For the next skill, I took some cool looking particles and made them red. I am literally so creative. And I also made a simple animation of you just zooming. There is one problem though. Maybe not just one problem actually.
What the dog doing?
Anyway, I focused more on finishing the visuals first. This time I made even more oversized particle effects because why not? And I think it paid off since it ended up looking actually decent. Somehow. You basically headbutt them and pass through, having a second impact because why not? And yeah, I kinda just reused the impact frames from the Black Flash move, but like, why not? Anyway, I'm already satisfied with that skill. Now, his kit seems a bit too overpowered actually. I made it so that every time you headbutt someone... What the fuck? I made it so that every time you headbutt someone, you reduce your speed by dividing it by 3. Now you can't just spam your moves since you still have to manage your health every time you speed back up. I'd say that's pretty balanced. And though now, it's unfair that Okarun has no way of regaining health back, so that makes him kinda mid. But remember, we still have the untransformed variant, and so if you can have your transformation off, you can eat and regain your health. For the visuals, you just pull out some food from your inventory or something, and then gulp it down in a second. Anyway, for a while this skill was bugging a lot, where you can't stop eating. I eventually got it to work after using 2 of my remaining brain cells because I am a literal idiot. And all I had to do was transfer 1 line of code to the top. I was also genuinely tweaking out because it was 2 AM and I couldn't find out what was wrong for an hour straight. Sometimes I wonder how dumb I could get. Anyway, what's important now is you can gobble up your food and regain health, so you could just drain it again and again by sprinting. Peak game design. When it comes to Dandadan, I'm an anime only, so I don't really know the extent of Okarun's powers. Although I've seen one manga panel where he looks really damn menacing, so I figured I gotta make that. I started off with the face effects, although it seems like adding a fully dark highlight interferes with the particle emitters, so I had to dim it a bit. But since it looks really ass, I tried something different and instead just used some particles to generate the shadow effect. And yeah, that looks better. The aura now works, but it doesn't really fit the mask. And I also stole a smile from Doors, I think. Don't blame me, it's on the toolbox. I also just used the same explosion effects from earlier because if it works, it works. Although it's still missing a few stuff. One being the camera movements, and so now it looks like this. But wait, there's more. Of course, particle emitters. I think I may have an addiction. So now it looks... It actually ended up nice. Now I can't even talk trash about it. I haven't seen the manga yet, so I don't know what stuff Okarun is gonna pull out. But I've seen this one fan animation that looks really cool, so I'll go do that. I was quite unsure of the animation since I can't really tell what he's doing. To me, it looks like he's just squatting up and down so fast while doing uppercuts. So that's probably what I will do. And so I made a really scuffed animation by just copy and pasting the same keyframes because I am lazy. Oh, and yeah, I also found a better particle plugin called Ross Particle Editor. Though another problem is that the animation looks too goofy. Adding impact frames to this move also may give you a seizure. And it looks kinda whack, so I changed them. I also added this impact frame to the previous skill because impact frames equals cool. Now after all that, it's time for something unexpected.